Do, do, do. Hi, everyone. Give me a second. Hi, hi, hi. Happy Friday. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Tonight we're on our social segment with Winn. It's Friday. The weather has been weathering. I mean, the rain, all of that good stuff. Just some housekeeping rules for the night. We have a guest tonight. Gus, say hi.
Hey, what up, everybody? Can you hear me? Okay. My mic was tripping earlier, so hopefully we good.
We're good. So our guest tonight is Mr. Gus is in the building. We're gonna have a good conversation. You know how we do it. Engagement in the chat. Let us know like some of your takeaways. Have a conversation with us in the chat. Share the video. Share to whatever platforms you utilize this. But yep, this is the Inner Circle podcast. We're here Monday through Friday. Friday I am your host, which is Win, which is what we call social segment with me. Once again, congratulations to all the class of 2025. We want to say congratulations to you all and on the job well done. So Friday, we're here. We're having a social segment tonight. Again, get in the comments, get in the chat, and let's have a conversation. Yes. Our guest, Mr. Gus, you're offline.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We cannot see you. Now we can see
How
you.
about now? Okay, bad.
Yes. So tonight we're just having a conversation. On Fridays we come here every Friday to have a good conversation, to engage, all of that beautiful things. I'm just sharing our video, so bear with me really quick.
You're good. Sophia, can you please run to my car and grab my charger?
Okay. Sorry, I just had to mute you. So tonight, y'all, we have a conversation on the board. Our guest came with a question, and I think this question is really good. I feel like the ladies should jump in the comments if you're watching. Please, join the conversation, and just let's have a good time tonight. Let's everybody come in, state your opinion. There's no right or wrong, but also please remember, like, you're respectful. We're all adults here. We can agree to disagree. So let's keep that in mind when we're coming on the show, and we're not being like, we're not using like those extra comments and extra words that is not appropriate. Because here on the Inner Circle podcast, we advocate, for like social engagement and also just promoting like those healthy conversations in the Liberian community. We're not here to degrade nobody, drag anybody down, but just to have a conversation, which is why it's called Social Segment with Win. I'm your girl, Winna, and we have a guest tonight. So, Mr. Gus, I will let you properly introduce yourself and then also the topic that you have that you want us to talk about tonight, because I'm excited.
Well, I don't have a big introduction to be honest with you, but my government is Siowin Augustine Wiagbe. But the serious people call me Siwin Augustine Wiagbe. But I go by Gus from Augustine. So everybody that really know me calls me Gus. Only a few people really close to me call me Siowin. Not too many people really call me Siowin, really, other than my papi. Sometimes my siblings, but rarely do they even do that.
Okay.
So other than that, we're good.
To get the ball rolling tonight, Gus, is there any fun facts about you that the people can, you can let them know?
You say, is there any what about me?
Fun facts, like fun facts.
Fun fact, I am definitely a proud dad. That's one
Okay.
thing I like to come across right away to everybody. Like I take pride in my daughter. She's literally um, the reason why I do what I do every day. Oh, and I shiny
So
here.
the president will join me tonight. Is gonna go left.
Shagaba. Yeah, Tata, what's up, man?
What up, dog? What's going on?
Prezzo's in the building. The man just pop up in the chat room. Oh, you
Pop
joking?
up. But now I was just giving fun facts about me. I'm obsessed with the weight room. I'm obsessed with sports.
Okay.
And I'm actually obsessed with my job. So what I do for a living, I really enjoy that, and I think that's very important in life. If you enjoy what you do, you wouldn't feel like you're working a day in your life, and that's where I'm at. So I'm very blessed.
Absolutely, I agree. So now we have a special guest in the building. Is the president himself, Mr.
Yes.
Envy, Mr. AKA Relationship.
Come on. Look at that.
Oh,
Look,
Prezzo, what's good?
look
Introduce
at
yourself. I ain't gonna get you. I'm not even gonna rush it. Introduce yourself. The platform is yours tonight. What you got?
Win this a segment. You're running your show. You're doing great. I mean, I hear the social segment be late, so I just show face and see what's going on. So but that's why you call me document, man. Welcome. You say you're obsessed with the weight room. I can already see that you're obsessed with the weight room.
Ah, my man, stop it. I was just eating small iron salad morning.
It's necessary, necessary. But win, it's all yours, man. I'm just showing face and get to learn.
Show face because I hear my ladies are coming in a little bit. But Gus has a question tonight. Gus, what's your question for the people that are watching tonight? Like, what is your question for the people out there?
Honestly, I just wanted to start off with the first question, which I think is a very important question,
Mhm.
is should women pay for themselves on the first?
Uh-oh.
Should women want pay for the first date?
I
I
think
think
so. Let me go back. I think that's what he
I
has sent me.
I think.
Connection is my connection tripping.
Oh,
So the
okay.
question
Can you
you
hear me
said,
now?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Yeah. So my question was, did you hear the question?
no, you can you repeat it for us, please?
Yeah. So my question is, should women pay for themselves on the first date? Why or why not?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So
Should
who
women
did it?
pay for themselves on the first date? Why or why not?
Yeah.
I would say no, because my thing is, if you invite me on the first date, I don't believe I should pay for myself. I mean, it was you the one like saying, "Hey, I see you. I think I would like to take you on this date X, Y, and Z." So why would I go in that mindset paying for myself? For me, I think in my girls when they come in the comments, they might argue, but I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna pay for myself. What do you got to say?
Me?
I'll let you go first, Dada.
I mean,
Well,
it's the free flow, so we can talk.
first of all, who did the invite? Was it invite? It depends who did the invite, right? And it depends the person you're inviting. If it's something it depends on the invite to me. It's like for you, I mean, for that to be determined. But I would say, hey, man, we live in a world, something it goes to be 50-50. So let's see. Let me, I pay for myself, you pay for yourself, and let's see how it's gonna go. But it depends, though. It all depends on the situation for me
So
personally.
if you're saying the first date when you invite the person out, they should pay for themselves and you pay for yourself. That's what I'm understanding tonight on this app.
It depends, as well. I just said it depends.
So what makes it? How does that depend now? Because if you're inviting somebody out, aren't you taking the initiative to like pay and treat them because you took it upon yourself to invite them out? Or am I wrong?
Well, as I said, right? If I invite you, okay, knowing the situation, knowing probably, there's so many factors might be involved in that, for it. I mean, for me to say either 50-50 or maybe I'll take the initiative.
Hmm.
Even though I'm the one doing the invitation, but so many factors go into that.
Ladies, if you're in the comments tonight, I need you to drop your answer. Is it right that a woman should pay for herself on the first date, or the person that inviting her out should be the one paying? I want to know tonight because my argument is if you invite me and I have to leave my house, put on my clothes, get dressed, and show up, I'm expecting you to pay. That is an expectation of mine. And that's just for me. So AB is saying 50-50, or maybe you will pay depending on the situation. So I just want to know what the conversation is saying tonight, right? Like, are we paying for ourselves or is the person inviting us paying? What do you say? Okay, somebody said, Gus, they said it doesn't matter who initiated. be a man and take the lady. She will do something for you another time. I agree. I agree. You know, Ginzetta, thank you for that, Mama. I appreciate the comment because I think a lot of the time people miss that, right? It's like if you invite me out and you say, "Oh, Edwina, I like you. I want to get to know you. Invite me out." I'm expecting you to like treat me, like take me out. I'm not expecting nothing like lavish or grand, but if you are coming to me and stepping to me, you're right. Absolutely, you should. If you initiate it, you should go about it and and take that bowl and lead. Let me see what you're capable of. So I agree with you, Jim Zetta. You should do that. But a lot of our men now will tell you, say, "Oh, I took you one time. Now it's this." It's like a whole issue. It's like a whole thing. So it's always like, okay, how do we go about that? Mr. Gus, what do you say about this comment? Do you agree to
I
disagree?
honestly, on this topic, I like to play devil's advocate. I like the why and I like the why not. So for the why, I would say I do agree with you with the whole traditional expectation, which is whoever asked is the one that paid for the date. And also it makes a statement as a male. You basically saying that you have interest in a woman, so you're paying for her. She doesn't need to pay for herself, and it's also a personal choice too. Some men, they like to feel like that's like a masculine thing for them. And honestly, if I ask a woman out, I know what my intentions are. My intentions are I'm interested in her. I want to get to know her, and in the back of my mind, I have it that I am going to pay. But
Hmm.
as the day progresses, though, certain different factors comes in. I know that sounds crazy, and that also brings me to the opposite side of it. Like I have a daughter, so I think that as a woman, if you're going out on a date, is you should know to pretty much bring money for yourself, your expenses.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah. So you're saying you invite the woman out, right? She's come out. She's cute. She got her thing. You're saying in her purse she should have money, like just in case. So what are you saying?
Yes, as a woman, I think it's very important to come out with knowing in the back of your mind, knowing that just in case I may pay for myself. Maybe I don't like this dude. Maybe he's a creep.
Even
Maybe
if
like
you don't like I mean, if the person don't like you to begin with or want to get to know you, don't you think they would tell you, "Hey, Gus, I'm not gonna go on a date with you"? Wouldn't that be a
uh
thing? Or do you think people are just looking for food to eat?
listen, that ass. Some people are just looking for food to eat. Again,
That's wild.
but hey, you don't know people's intentions until you really get to know them, though, is what I'm saying. But as a woman, I don't care if I like this guy, if I think he's wealthy or whatever his situation may be. I personally, if I was a woman, I'm bringing my own cut. Because if I want to leave, I get the heck up out of there. Like, I don't, come on. I think
So
that's
you
very important.
So you're also saying you don't pick them up, right? Y'all meet halfway, y'all meet there, right? And then she should have like at least something for herself just in case. Is that what
Yes,
you're
my
saying?
goal, my personal goal would be to go the whole way. My goal would be to pick her up, go on a date, and pay for her. But then again, some women are very when it comes to preferences, they have certain preferences. They don't want you to pick them up because they don't want you to know where they live. Like maybe they don't want to mess with you again, and that's her choice. So
Or
I
maybe it's the
respect
first
that.
time they're knowing you. I mean, I get the car part because it makes sense. Like if you're first time meeting somebody, it's always good to you meet me, I meet you. So it's not like weird. That is absolutely accurate. But I also believe like if you're inviting somebody on a date, I get it that you have something just in case things can happen, things can go left. That makes sense. But I will go in that with a mindset that this man invited me, took me out of my comfort zone, out of my personal space. So that means it is you are gonna be catering that night to wherever we're at. Like because I feel like you initiated. Now, if a woman had initiated to say, "Hey, Gus, I think you're cool. I want to vibe with you. Let me take you out." That she's coming with that mindset that, "Hey, I'm gonna treat this guy, X, Y, and Z." But you're right though. In the other piece, that as a person, woman or man, no matter your gender, you should always have just like maybe your bank card or something in it, just for like or hypothetical situations because we're in the world, anything can happen. But I would say to my girls now on this app tonight, if you're watching, If a man initiate to take you out, he is responsible to feed you that night. Take your little purse, put your little $2 by $4 inside, and just hold it. But I think he should. And Gus, somebody has a thing for you.
Okay, because I always have money when I go out. But if you allow me to pay on the first date, it's a turn off for me. I'm not a mean person. When a guy allowed me to pay on the first date, I'm done. So hear me out. Here's another reason why I think that a woman should pay for herself on the first date, especially if she's in a position to. Because yo, listen, I go back to the point where guys nowadays, um, hey, we think we're dicks. Like a lot of guys think with their dicks. And if a guy take a girl on a date, and matter of fact, if a guy buy a girl a drink nowadays when they're out at the bar or something like that, if he buy her a drink, guys are usually the intentions is okay. Maybe this woman is gonna go home with me, just off of a drink that is probably $7, or maybe even cheaper. Sometimes drinks could go up to $20. So if he buys the drink, he's got some type of expectation. So
Okay.
think about an actual date where it's way more than a drink. It's his cut, it's her cut, and now because he pays for you, he has some type of expectation in his mind that okay, I just paid for her meal. I'm going to at least get a kiss. I'm gonna get a hug. I'm gonna probably smash like that. The woman paying for herself, I think, or offering or showing that she wants to pay for herself, also help that person to get away from those assumptions because this is not what you think it is.
Okay. So are you then saying that most guys go in that setting and are going in with that mindset of thinking like that? Is that what you're saying then?
I'm not saying all guys are
I
going
said
into that.
most. No. I said most guys. I said, are you saying that most guys go in thinking with their private parts and not sincerely going in and say, hey, I like this person. I actually want to get to know them. So even if we go on a date and they don't, we don't rock and that's okay. For me, I think when people invite people on a first date, I think now that we're older and wiser, that's the word I'm going to use here tonight. I think, when we're younger, people say, let's go to dinner for a first date. That is so invasive. That is so like personal. That is just too much because you're in this private setting. You don't know this man. He don't know you. Like, besides the conversation via text, and you're at dinner looking at each other in like an intimate setting. For me, no, it's very weird. Like,
No. I get what you're saying, but people just
now, but I think now when a person invites you on a date, oh, thank you, Ashley. I think when people invite you on a date, I would love for it to be more like less like just minimal, like a coffee date or like going to like bowling or top golf, something that is not so like Gus, you look me in the eye, I look you in the eye.
see
Oh,
what I'm saying.
I'll answer. Call back, Alberta, call back. I'm so sorry. Somebody was calling just now. Call back.
Target. I really want to put that 2 cents on the topic.
Yes. Let me
Jesus.
tell her to call back. Oh, let me tell her. Oh my God.
Now, but I get what you're saying though, and I feel it. Like that makes sense. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the best
Hey,
approach for
Gus,
this
hold
conversation.
on. Hi. I'm good. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, thank you too for having me on. I'm enjoying the topic. That's why I decided to call. I always watch you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So, what do you say about this question? So, the gentleman is saying when you invite a woman out to dinner, she should pay for she should pay for her, for her dinner on the first date, or the person that asked her should pay. What do you say about that?
I just agree with the lady paying on the first date. I would rather the guy pay. First of all, going on a date doesn't mean you people are intimate. You understand?
Yep.
So for me, I think going on a date, having that space where the both of you feel safe to talk, get to know each other, and stuff like that. I might even drink water on a date. For me, I don't even drink. I don't even drink a whole bottle of beer, like a whole bottle, no. But I would rather you, the man, take the initiative to, make the lady believe that you're a gentleman.
Right.
And maybe another date, she can even invite you and pay for you. But on the first date, you decide to allow me to pay. I just think it's a turn off for me. It doesn't matter how much the dinner gonna cost, but like the guy should just take that responsibility. I'm like a gentleman.
Okay, I agree. You're not wrong. I agree. I love that you said that. A lot of people miss that. You know, people invite. For my argument tonight is for my ladies. If a man invites me on a date, please know that you're gonna take care of me that night, right? You know, my wish
Right.
because
And
you
even if
invited
I
me.
go out with my female friends, I always have, money to pay for myself. But
Hmm.
going out with a guy on the first day, you want to know me and stuff like that, and allow me to pay. I'm not gonna do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
And
Thank you.
again, I get it from both sides, but I need you to understand where I'm coming from, though. Again, I told you, as a man, me personally, I can't speak for other men. I'm telling you what
Mhm.
I got in the back of my mind. But as we're on the date, and you first and foremost, like ordering everything that you don't usually eat by yourself.
So let me ask you, girls, why if you want to talk to this lady, there is no time, or maybe she's not safe, she doesn't feel safe to come to your house or allow you in her space or in her home, and she said, okay, let's go sit to some restaurant or some cafe and drink and have a coffee and talk, get to know each other. What are you gonna do? Allow her to pay? Is that
No,
what you?
hey, yo, it doesn't matter if we having coffee or if we go to a top star restaurant. At the end of the day, in the back of my mind, I already know what I want to do personally. Like that's my personal preference. Just like people have preferences, my personal preference is that. But I'm also advocating for the people who does not want to pay on the first date, like some of their logical reasoning behind it. Is what I'm
So why would
saying
you
to you.
invite somebody on the first date and you're not willing to pay? What's the niche? Then what's the concept of you inviting them to begin with? You're
No,
wasting
no, no,
somebody's
no.
time.
This is not. This is not even about. This is not even about. Remember now. This is not even about me personally inviting the person
No,
out
we
on the
just
first
say
date.
in general,
At
like
the,
a logical stance. If you invite me on the first date, I'm not coming at you because I'm just saying in general. I get your point. Most men go in the concept of they have intentions. It could be here. I'm taking this person on a date because I want to sleep with them, or I genuinely want to get to know this person on a different level. But my thing is, and what our caller is saying is that if you invite me out, took me out of my comfort zone, and I gotta put on comfy clothes to go out with this person, I'm expecting you as an initiator to pay for my date.
so let me say something here first. Let me say something here. So
Okay.
I think the best solution to this, because even if it's a woman that take the dude out on the first date, you're saying that because she asked, the traditional expectation is because she asked, so she's the one that's going to pay. Even if a woman asks me out on a date, in the back of my mind, I'm not expecting her to pay for real.
Not the first
But
day, maybe the second or third or fourth, then I can
yeah,
pay.
not
But
the
the
first date, but a woman may be very aggressive and ask you on the first date. So
not
they're
aggressive.
aggressive with me out there. While she know what she wants and she sees it and she knows she got the bread, so she takes you out and whatever intentions are her intentions. But I think the most important part here is
Oh, when we're
communication. I
in a
think there needs to be
relationship,
very clear communication
I
before the
can
date.
take you out many times and pay for you or even get you gifts and stuff like that. But on the first date, it gets too awkward to me. Like I don't
The
get
people
it.
say they're
It's
not
not
paying for the
making sense
first
to me.
dates
It's
ever.
I'm not. Then I'm not going.
Ever is crazy. Ever is crazy.
On the first
So Wayne,
date,
let me ask you
you're not
something.
paying for it.
You
You're not
you
paying.
lay in the
All
sofa.
right,
I
let me
lay
ask
in
you
the
something.
talk on the phone.
All right, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. So
Go
you go on
ahead.
the first date, the man pay whatever the bill is, he pay. Does that
Mhm.
guarantee he a second date? Even maybe there's something about him you don't like. Does that guarantee a second date? So he feel like he just spent money on you, and
Okay, does that
he
guarantee no second date? You
No,
took me out of my
no.
house.
Going on a
look
date,
at trouble.
that's the mistake we make, especially we like parents.
Mhm.
Going on a date doesn't mean you people that is a guarantee that you're gonna fall into a relationship. We're gonna talk who is boss, who is gender and stuff like that. After the date, you get who sleep over everything, how the conversation went, the person appearance, the way they presented themselves, the utterances and stuff like that. Then you will place another call and you will talk about the date. If you want to move forward, that's how it should be. Like
Exactly.
so
Okay,
things
well, again, I hear both sides of the story. I just wanted to advocate.
matter.
So first date doesn't guarantee love. First date doesn't guarantee
No.
commitment. It just guarantee I
But
see love.
apparently, it guaranteed the purse. I
Yeah, you
say now, say with me.
have already on this topic. I'm always following you guys. I'm very into the Philadelphia. I
Oh,
always
thank
hearing your
you.
show. All the best. I'll talk to you some other time.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right, guys. We'll finish with internet. So,
Yo,
Jerry,
listen, we gotta be considerate of other people. Like maybe
wait,
this
well, let
man
me
really
introduce
likes
my
you.
girl first. Hold on, guys. Let me introduce my girl. Jerry, say hi to the people.
Hi everyone, I'm Jerry, and it seemed like the topic is pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, man, we about to drag it tonight. You know how we do it right here on the Inner Circle. So the topic tonight, Guts have a topic, and I think it's very beautiful to talk about. Should a woman pay for herself on the first date, even though a man initiated, right? So our caller saying no. People in the comments are saying no. It's the guy should be the one paying if he initiating the first date. So Jerry, what do you have to say about that tonight?
Well, for me, I feel like it comes down to preferences and what you're looking for.
Okay.
For me personally, I would never pay for any date. What is first, second, third, fourth, fifth? I'm just traditional like that. You're gonna pay for that date. I don't care what is first time meeting you or my fourth time meeting you. I'm not taking up my credit card if I go out. Any man, period.
So that man,
And
I got money. Will be washing dishes that
it
night.
If you ain't got money, no step to me. What are you talking about?
is. And people that I meet don't have problem with it. So, duh.
Hey,
Fuck
I
that,
respect
Jerry.
it.
Fuck that.
Dog it. Shagaba. That's wild. Hey, I like it though. That's honesty. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
So what are you guys looking for, and who you meeting? There are so many people out there who don't have problems with paying for dates. It's not even an issue.
Hmm.
Right, right.
And then there are some men that go in the contact, and Gus raised a point earlier. He says some men are, asking women on date, pretending to want to, just to try to like, see what they can get afterwards. And I think that's kind of crappy because if you don't like someone, just don't waste your time doing all of that and stuff like that. And I was saying earlier was that the concept of date too becomes a lot. Like back then, people want to take you to dinner. I think that is so personal for me. So I'm coming to a space in my life like I'm declining dinner dates. Like I'm okay to something light and simple, like that's not restrictive, where I can wear my jeans, my tennis shoes, or my slippers, or something where I'm not required to be all dressy, especially when I'm first time, meeting this person or just, getting to know you. I think on a personal dinner date where the person look in your eye, you look in their eyes, and it's just too much. What do you guys think about that?
I think you got a great point. I think people just say yes nowadays to going on a date and not realize how personal that is. Um, shoot, that's a great point though. A little Starbucks or some coffee, something light. I think that's a great first or second date because that lets you know if you see yourself hanging out with this person again. Because the next date, that is actual date, that is more private and you eye to eye contact and all of that stuff. It makes sense, and I feel like both parties will be more comfortable then than just going out to eat a big dinner and then it's like, man, I don't even like this person. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
Jerry, what's your opinion on that? What do you think?
I think just good to gauge the person for me, honestly. The person vibes, you know what, this is a casual something for me. It's not going anywhere. I don't mind going to coffee shop with this person. And some people see the vibe and you're like, hey, this is a restaurant type of situation here. So,
Okay.
no,
I mean, I think everything
it
can build
can't
itself up.
be.
I think people
Yeah.
just put too much pressure on, like, I went like way, way back. I knew somebody invited me in like to a date to like Lake Cat Home, right? And with just a Starbucks, my favorite Starbucks in my hand, just walking Lake Cat Home and conversing. And I thought that was pretty cool because it's like I didn't have to like get all my 9 yards, beat my face, tweak my lash. I didn't have to do that. And for me, I know people won't believe this today. I'm gonna say this on this app. As dolled up as y'all see me, I'm a comfortable person. I love to be in sweats. I love my shirt, big shirt. Like this is me 9 out of 10, right? So if I can skip that and just be comfortable, I would definitely agree to it. But a lot of the time, people like invite you on a date and then they expect this, like go to this Fanta Glorious restaurant. You got to be all fancy schmancy. You got to like zip your dresses and you have you huffing and puffing and dresses, right? Then you're talking to this man, you're thinking like, oh my god, I don't like this man like that. What am I doing here? When we could have just went right here to call Starbucks, got some chai latte, chop it up, and
That's
then
where before you even get to that point, you kind of like see that person. So I say you have to get and see, okay, is this thing even worth it putting an effort into it? Because sometimes you get the vibe before you even get to meet them in person.
right, that's true.
I will tell you. um, I talked to a girl in the past before, and I got to know her a little bit. And then our first date, which I asked her out on a date, I took her to like a Brazilian steakhouse. Which again, that was on me.
That's Matia.
So I did that, and I got
Trying to
lucky. I got lucky because we vibed. We liked
Well,
each
you got
other.
lucky as in a sleeping lucky or
No, 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 no. I got lucky that there was like more dates after that. But my
okay.
point is, the thing that made me mad is that this person got salad. Like it was like a freaking all you can eat like steak and everything, and they got
So
salad.
what wrong with eating salad?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But again, that's on me too. I didn't realize the person was gonna eat salad. I asked about everything that they like, and I, pick a place based off the type of food and stuff that they said they like. But that night they just wasn't in the mood, I guess, to eat steak, and they ended up eating nothing but salad. And I was salty, low key. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie. I'm
let's
like,
talk about that. Let's unpack that for a second. Why your friend eating salad making you vex? So what your friend out there wanted to yeah, that was
again, no, no, no. That was my personal saltiness. Like, that had nothing to do with them. But again,
because
I
no,
didn't
not
feel.
everybody left food like you are.
I know my food been it damn strong. But I think I ate enough for
He
both
said
of
I
us.
was
So
salty.
but I don't. I feel like we shouldn't even focus so much on the where we go for the dates. To be honest,
Mhm.
because you can go to the most fancy restaurant and still have the most casual conversation. I don't
True.
know.
I think it's the
And
timing. Like Winn said, it's the timing because if you feel like you barely know this person and your goal of going out with them is to get to know them, like don't take them somewhere crazy
Yeah.
because especially if you ask them out, knowing that at the end of the day you're most likely going to be paying, like why take them somewhere crazy, especially if you don't like them and you start feeling like, oh my god, that was such a waste of time, that was such a waste of money, blah blah blah. Like just go somewhere light. If it's the second, third, or fourth time, then you could go crazy with the bag because then
that
it
person have
makes
the money
sense.
here if it's I don't know.
So Jerry, there's my question. If you go on a first date and the conversation wasn't like very like stimulating or X, Y, and Z, are you going on the second one or not?
I don't have to. I don't like wasting my time. Honestly,
Okay.
if you get
You
to know,
said watch your video, I don't waste my time.
I don't have the time and the patience if I'm not vibing. Like, there's no second. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you and be
Would
like,
you up and
hey,
leave in the middle of the day?
no, I'm a very respectful person. Even if that person is the most socially awkward person, or if I'm the only one saying stuff, I'm not just going to walk out on that person. I'm going to give them a respect and stay to the end and just never see them again.
Like
Okay.
that's what you paying for
Let me
it. You said the
let me
least I
tell
can
y'all.
do is
I
just finish
went.
it.
So I mean, like dating is kind of crazy, right? I had went on a date way back. This gentleman I met on Instagram, like always follow my page. Like, hey, I want to take you out, right? And I just knew it wasn't for me because the whole conversation I carried it on my back. like like it was like minimal, and I'm just like, how do you invite me? I'm sitting here and carrying this conversation on my back, and I just knew it wasn't for me. And after a couple of days I let it die down, and they're like, oh, do you want to hang out again? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I literally carried this conversation. I think I understand. Like, yeah, I said it. I'm like, I carried this conversation on my back. Like, is this not the WWE type shit? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
So
bag wa head to you, huh?
if I had seen it, or then I fought. So
That's like socially awkward in person. Like, they will have the best conversations on the phones and stuff, and then
I,
every person is like they don't have nothing to say.
and it was just like a bare minimum, and I just told this guy, I was like, you know what, like, dude, let's keep it a buck. Like, I carry this conversation, and it just doesn't do it for me. I'm a converser by nature, so sometimes I am tired because of the job that I do. But if I have to carry a conversation from the first day that you invited me on, baby, you're not gonna be back here again.
No,
So
Okay.
it's just crazy. I mean, there's no rules and regulations in the pool of dating, but I always think like if you invite someone out, like at least be able to have that conversation or dialogue back and forth, and just be able, to have it. The other person might be trying to process as you're speaking, but to carry the conversations on my back, that man gotta carry you on my back. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. I'm
And most
serious.
of it, as I was saying, like when you engage with these people, whether it's through text messages or whatever online, I don't know. It's just me. I can tell right away. Like I can tell, like, don't waste my time here. Like it's not even going to lead to
I'm not
anything.
here for that.
Just,
Okay.
I don't
just
So
see.
that's a good leeway when I have another question. If you guys are done with this topic, it's kind of like leading to the next topic for me.
Yeah.
So my question is, at what point is it official that two people are dating? Because I know nowadays people just leave things up for interpretation. At what point exactly is it official that two
start taking
people?
your clothes.
Who check you?
I said when you start taking your clothes off, I say
Oh,
you
I
start
said taking our clothes off.
Now I wanna
But
respond, huh?
there's a
Oh
future. It's not doing that. That's what
no! You serious? That your answer?
No, but I'm saying we live in a generation because people take that as that. Like the moment that people start sharing t-shirt, sharing stickers,
Nah.
and it shouldn't be. I think a person fully ask you to be with you and not just make an assumption. But some African people, African men, like yo,
Yo,
soon
chill.
y'all see the again and find out no I lay up in it. It's not go when my mom for me also that baby that I was crying in the hospital like you are crying for. Not my mom, but like you are crying. Lyrics. I told you last week they will be giving you lyrics, but a lot of you just assumed. They just make assumption because you're that person laughing. You're not going a couple of dates. You haven't officially asked them to be their partner or girlfriend. Then you'll get up and say we together. Now, bring minute, you'll leave the lyrics business.
But no, but what's the thing? When to some extent, it's like a cultural thing. Honestly, like I would say,
If
it's
culture that can really damage people
not
and
a
waste
thing.
their
Jesus.
time.
I
It's more
swear,
of
my men is still getting straight. That's crazy.
either like baby, it's still go what?
We still getting straight. It's like, this is just a general question about everybody. Like, at what point does it
No, we always
qualify
gotta
for?
check it back to our parents
Especially
and
like
limit the
women,
view.
especially like
Well,
women.
I think it depends though. It depends on a lot of things. I don't know.
Is it time frame? Like, how long you've been talking to the person? Let's say after like a month or 3 months, then you like, all right, we go together.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think both people gotta come with their intention, what they're looking for. It have
what
to align.
too. That
Yeah,
that part.
alignment gotta match. Cause if one person takes I'm just chilling and you want a relationship, one of you gotta go and you gotta go fast. The one that just chilling can be left alone. The one that wants something commitment can go on and find that. Because
So
you
communication.
compromise, yeah,
Yeah,
communications. But I mean there's no set rules in dating, but if you meet a person, you're vibing, the alignment is there, everything. I think after 3 months and that you can make it official. I think that's a good time. You need 7 years to figure that out, or 7 months or 12 months.
So what
yeah.
I'm hearing from you is somebody gotta ask somebody out, and usually it's the men that ask the woman out
But also I
to,
should be alone.
huh?
It's not. It's not even about asking somebody out. Like when you
You
guys
have to you have to verbally make that commitment because
You
if you
got to.
don't,
That's true. I
play
agree with
from
that.
the beginning, like some people just want to play around and have fun. If
and
you're
that's
looking
fucked
for,
up. That's a waste of time.
and if both of you want commitment, I don't feel like there should be a timeline to when you should commit to each other.
No, they shouldn't, but you should let somebody know when you're ready to commit.
So what qualifies as dating then? What qualifies as dating? Because dating and hanging out, it can really get confused.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
what qualifies as dating?
Thinking
Because
that is we see each other
when
time, looking each other off.
qualified as dating is when the both parties, both for whoever, male, women, whatever, decides like, okay, we both want to be in a committed relationship and we
And
want to take
exclusive.
this to the next level. That's when it qualifies as. But as long as that is not clear between the both of you, at that point you're just doing
hanging
whatever.
out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looking each other eyeball.
Because I was looking up something and they asked it different question or they made it different points to compare dating versus hanging out. So for example, if the person only sees you at night,
You fuck buddies. Excuse my French.
oh, but I thought you only spoke one language. Oh,
No, I
excuse
speak
my
French.
friend.
I live in Cote d'Ivoire, so I speak French.
Another one was, have you gone out to dinner together?
if they didn't care you nowhere good, I mean you're not qualified. Next, you hanging out
What about do you only hang out when watching Netflix?
and chilling. You're not correct. Keep going.
So all these things are distinguishing between hanging out and dating.
Exactly. No, that's a good thing to distinguish. And
What
a lot
about
of
have you
people,
met their friends?
what better friend? Now they see
No,
you all the
no. Listen, some people, if you have met their friends, it really gives. It tells you a lot about them,
you
man.
not
It's
mean
a
more
really.
than law and nothing came out of it. Cause
Hey,
you're
Jesus.
man. Yeah, man. You meet a woman that get in life ain't think out of it. Move for yeah. Talk different thing. But I get it. But no, I think I like that list because I think a lot of the time in this generation, we misinterpret a lot of stuff. But I think the issue I also see in this generation, people want to create their own narrative to suit their delusion. That's the problem. Because the male wanna call you 12 o'clock every night. Are you
Target.
are you a witch flying? Jerry, my dear, I got that today. None of you
That's a
laughing.
very specific time. Did somebody used to call you at that time or something?
The devil is
Oh,
alive.
I feel like when the girls in these type of situation, they're very delusional.
That's what I'm saying, Jerry. They be making this narrative to suit their mind because Gus
Yeah,
is saying that those kind of things are just hanging out. They're not somebody that see you in that
yeah.
light of be with you long
Because
term. But they will say, "Mama, oh, the boy make time for me. He can call me to him." When your friend
anybody,
is sleeping, when your friend is sleeping, the things will be praying on your knees. You're going to her, you not belong to her. Then you say they're not hanging
Jesus.
out with you.
So what about this? What about this? What if y'all did some activities before hooking up?
And then all of a
amen.
sudden, you go by the calling you at night.
Shagaba.
So I'm asking you, so if y'all started with doing activities, right? Like being outside, being social, doing things, and then it changed now to being night owl. Welcome.
So is that a promotion or a demotion? Because if
That's
you
a
get
demotion, baby. Cut the ties. Because so then he kind of love bomb you in a way because he give you this idea that this is what it is, and now when he got you in a little loop, then you became a night owl. The time I'm not boy that night and boy you.
the other one on a road, man.
Now people ready calling people on it in the night.
Jerry, you they did it pukero.
That's
Oh,
the drunk town. Oh. That person is not thinking correct. They're calling they already know something on his side.
You know that I've been put in my community.
Target. That's wild.
And the area get cold at the time you will not. But no, in all honesty, though, there is a distinction between somebody that is actually dating you sincerely than somebody that just just hanging out with you and trying to get what they can out of you. I think a lot of us women we try to change this narrative to suit our delusion. I think that is where the struggle is. So a man, what was saying is that a man would do all of those things, but in our mind we'll be thinking, oh, what about like me? We can be hanging out, we'll be chilling. What is the chilling include? Netflix, we'll play to a horse. At what time? 12 o'clock. What is so much that crackers and cheese? And the other part of the food are you.
Oh,
You can go to date.
I
He
say
don't
all I want.
I come here explaining for them now. I'm helping you out. You don't say, honey, put on your beautiful dress. I made a reservation. You don't say, let's just go bowling. Just doing something fun that don't require you being that out. Are you hot and sick?
Yo, listen. I think the
Yeah,
lack of
man.
clarity creates situationships. It creates friends with benefits. But if you really clearly communicate and you commit to being serious, you commit to clear intentions, I think that's dating compared to the other one that I just said is hanging out because
Yeah, that one
situationship is
I
hanging
trying to
out.
be a horror woman you be. So
Yeah.
there's dating, there's hanging out, and then there's the situationship.
I think situationship and friends with benefits falls in that hanging out category
What
because
is
it's
the
either
difference
dating or hanging out.
between situationship, first of all?
Huh?
what is the situation?
Yeah, what's the definition of it?
Situationship is like, okay, I'm talking to you, you talking to me. We haven't really established if we're dating, but we've been talking for a while. We have a situation. And
It
what's the
is.
situation? It's unidentified.
It's possible we could be talking to other people too. That's a situationship.
Absolutely. I'm keeping my option open. So all in the ship together swimming.
So chances are there's a lot of ships out there too, which put a lot of people at risk.
No, you got one boat. All of that boats swim.
So if the man have a situationship with you and have a situationship with another person, I
Me
mean,
and you not having situation with other people. I'm having situation with other people.
that's wild. If you have a situation with other people, chances are that other person doing the same thing because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one reason why you
I
haven't
don't do the
committed to
ship
each
or
other.
the situation, my dear. My title is not do ship.
That's crazy. Yo, all right, I respect it.
Yeah. Also, if you hanging out, then you hanging out. All, but
I think if you're hanging out, just say you're hanging out. I think people just have to be very. We got to be intentional with our actions, like because it's easy nowadays to just beat around the bush, like it is, and that's how people get their feelings hurt.
yeah, no, that makes sense. I think this generation, like I said, a person can be intentional, and then also people will create their own narrative to suit their delusion. So a person
Yeah.
can say, "Oh, I just want to be your F buddy," and you try to convince yourself that this is what they're trying to say, and not what you're trying to say.
If somebody said I want to be an F buddy and you say yes to that, I'm sorry. You do not have no respect for yourself.
And some people maybe they're coming from a relationship. I mean, something that wasn't
So you're looking for
profitable.
a rebound.
They're just looking for somebody to warm that needs in the winter.
That's wild.
You would be surprised. There are some people who will tell you, say, "Hey, I don't want to be
Why?
married. I don't do this. I just want to be chilling."
You really think that people nowadays are just verbal like that, like they just come out and say stuff like that,
Some
or
people
they just beat
are.
around the
I mean,
bush?
not everybody, is
Oh, the line
verbal,
is looking bad, man.
but some people are like able to say, "Hey, I've been through this, I've done that, and I'm not looking for no commitment. I'm just looking for somebody to chill
Mess
with."
around with.
Some
So
people
the next question should be then: am I the only person you're messing around with, or you feel
that
like
should
they
be the
just
next
want it,
question, followed by your
that
test
they
results,
they
and a
not they're
list
not
of
gonna care? They're just
yeah.
part of the roster.
I mean, if you saying that's what you're looking for, just be open to that person, like having other options in their hands too, and playing around with the options that they do have. I mean, it's a risky game. I wouldn't play it, but to each his own.
Okay.
This
That-
generation will take risk.
and that's part of that's some of the risk. All
But there
right.
are some people that are bold though, that will tell you, "Hey, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm just trying to chill." If you're looking for serious, tell yourself on that. If you're trying to chill, then you'll be chilling like Ice Cubes.
So with what you just said, do you feel like guys are more honest to saying those kind of things, or you feel like women are more like, which gender do you think is more honest about that kind of situation, or people just let it happen without the communication?
I think most people are not communicating it. But I think most men want that, but they don't want to say it because they think the girl may not want to rock with them.
So men are the ones that are pretty much saying it.
I mean, they're implying it without using the words.
Hmm.
What I'm trying to say is that most, like you said, a man is intentional. When he want to take you on a date, he want to get something out of your pants. He's gonna do this, that, and the third. That's what you said prior. So most men, they see a girl, they're like, okay, I like this girl. They probably thinking like, I can just add her on my list, so I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. But they're not gonna come up and say, hey, I think you're fine. I just want to smash type of stuff, or I don't have nobody. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I just want to be your F buddy. They're not gonna be bold enough to say that, so they're gonna act like there is this whole thing going on. And then when situation happens, but when we're together, we're just chilling. We just be together. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. And then there are some women that like, if a man boldly say, "Hey, I just want us to be F buddies," and the woman's on board, she'll tell you, like, "Yeah, I'm okay with that." Like, and so
Well,
women
yeah,
are okay with that,
a lot of people are open to saying that stuff.
huh?
I see y'all be surprised. A lot of people are open to saying that they just want to be that.
Yeah, ex buddy, like pull up at my house. That's the only commitment we got. Like, I
And
don't gotta see you after.
females
Just
and males, they will tell you straight up.
Gus, you think that's wild though?
Wild.
Honestly,
I prefer that than for somebody to be dishonest.
nah, I don't think that's wild. I like that. I think that's right to the point. That's very bold. Yeah, chances are the other person can say yes or no. But if they say yes, now they know what's up. They know what they're in, so they're
Right.
not gonna be
Nobody's falling
surprised.
in love. I'm not your girl. You're not my man. You know, we do what
I
we
don't
do.
think it's
We
what
started.
I don't think it's great. I just feel like people are not that bold nowadays. Even though those are people thoughts, they're
People are
thinking it, they want it, but
bold.
they're not
People,
bold enough to say it.
there are. That's why I was like, maybe like during culture, those things are not common. But if you step out of our culture and go into other
Yeah.
spaces, people are bold. They would tell you.
People are bold. I've
I
seen
mean, and don't get me wrong, the Caucasians, I mean, they be into everything. They be in open marriages and all that. So they're definitely bold.
yeah, that's too much. That's
So if
too
we
bold.
talk about the Caucasians, I get it. But what kind of nah, man, I don't know. I don't
So you
know.
think like some Liberian women not bold enough like that?
No, they're
No, first of all, nah, I don't think they are.
there are not both women and men. There are not.
But it's
They're not even
happening
bold
though.
enough
It's
to tell the
happening. It's
bullshit.
happening. It's just not stated. It's legit happening.
It's
But they're
happening,
not
but
bold to say it.
because they're not bold enough to say it. So I was
Yeah,
saying into other cultures and other spaces, people will tell you straight up, like, this is how I roll. And you take it or you leave it.
that's it.
Yeah. Not too many people are taking it, I guess, because we're not hearing about it.
But some people right now, they are in that kind of situation. Ship. No
Especially after a
commitment.
long relationship with somebody. Yeah, they don't want to be no nothing serious. So there they settle for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both parties.
Not more not more parties. Yeah. Gus, what was your other that was your other question you had?
She's African American, right? And she's bold with that stuff. She was telling me like Jerry, like she'd be talking about all her boyfriends. And they all know. And she would even talk to them about her other boyfriends. They know she's saying other people. And they don't have a problem with it because the communication is clear.
They can choose to leave or go, but they stayed.
Okay. Yeah.
Men just said a
But
woman want
no,
more
that
money.
was that was
Yeah, money, sure.
so yeah.
So it just depends. I feel like, as I was saying, like our culture, the way we are brought up, for a lot of us Liberians, is different. This is not something we're used to. So it's hard to find a Liberian person coming up to you and just being. It's just like they don't know it. It's not a part of who we are for most of us. I would say, not everyone. So it's just that, and that's where a lot of the problems come because a lot of these men they want that lifestyle. That's how they want to be, but they're not bold enough to say it, and end up hurting so many people in the end.
Do you guys think culture plays a role in like what is the pros and cons of culture in dating? Like let's talk about the culture of Liberian culture in dating. What is the pros and cons for that? Have you seen?
There's a lot of cons in the pro because a lot of them is how you're just doing the most, and they're not going to be honest to tell you, and they just be leading people on and giving you the wrong impression, and so many
I
other
don't want to give you the wrong impression. That song.
when they can just be honest, but they don't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Liberian culture.
Yeah, that's a lot of Liberian men for you.
Shagaba.
So there is more cons in the Liberian culture with the lens of dating, right? Is that what you're saying, Jerry? Is there's no pro of it?
We have pros though, but I'm saying is the situation of being open and honest and people setting the intentions in the beginning. We don't know how to do those things for a lot of us,
A
and
lot
that's
of
where
a
that's
lot
where
of Liberians don't know how to date with intention. Is that what I'm hearing tonight?
yeah, they're not honest in the beginning when they meet. That's why you see a lot of girls out here fighting for man business
Does
because
it?
it's
Oh, okay.
multiple serious relationships. And one girl where you're thinking that's her serious boyfriend, the other one thing that's a serious boyfriend, and he's leading both of these females on, and that's in
Well,
other
you did
places.
the boy we have two serious Junior though. Nothing spot.
Huh?
The man
What?
we have two serious table to eat from.
Oh yeah, and he's not being honest to anyone. And they're both there. You
Oh,
come to find out, and somebody showing shoes on their friend here because of some stupid dude.
You
those
have to be
shoes.
the Lulu or whatever the people say nowadays to fight over a guy. To fight over another person is crazy to me.
So,
Well, a
That
Gus,
lot
is
of
in
crazy.
your whole history of dating, nobody has fought over you.
yeah.
Yes, they have, but I didn't understand it. I
So
didn't understand it.
come back now. I'm not feeling that question. Hold on. So when they fought over you, who you talk to the horse?
Hey, Jesus.
The one
I
that
went by
won the fight, or the
myself.
one that got beat? Which one?
I went home by myself.
That is hard to believe.
I went home by myself. And next day, I talked to somebody.
The one that got beat or the one that won?
I told to both people I try to de-escalate the situation.
So you
That
made
was
a
it.
40 increase. So they're trying to go for it again.
Hey God. We're not talking about me. Let's go back to the me topic. But I don't understand why people fight for men business. I would never fight for a woman.
But
Why
you're
would
there the
you
one.
get
Boy,
both
Jerry, let me
serious
ask a question. So the
birthdays?
one
Why
that women
would
are
you
fighting for you, they don't understand why you're doing that. Both of them decided to fight.
I
What
was
was
small. I was small.
and what you
get
produced that the two women were fighting? Something had to be there. What's going on?
I mean, at the end of the day, the main reason why people fight is what the fight was going on for. Think about it. We already know the answer.
So no, not for the man. What did the man got? Did you spend money or what were you doing?
I mean, when you small like that, you get plenty of money, so it wasn't money.
So it was the strokes, the fighting for her.
Strokes. It had to be strokes.
Jerry, what did you get left in there? This is social segment, girl. We're gonna keep it a buck, okay? We keep it at a buck tonight.
I
So
mean, but I had no money at that time, so I can't lie
the
to you
only
and tell you.
strokes you could provide, so that because of strokes, they're taking each other teeth on there.
Yo, listen, when you small, you got plenty of money. Guess what you do? When you knocking anything, you be knocking for your living. You be knocking.
So the two people are fighting because of the strokes.
I mean, I can't come to any other
Okay.
logical.
So then after the strokes and you confront both of them, who got a stroke for the one that won or the one that lost?
Both of them.
No, I said who got it first. I know both of them
Oh,
got strokes.
first,
I said,
first.
who? The one that
You
lost the
got me here
game?
thinking. Nah, you got to reward the winner, but
So the winner got more angles. Okay, then the loser got.
would you have to talk to the loser at some point?
But then you say you don't understand why people be fighting. So what? So now you understood why they were
It
fighting.
doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now
I
that
get
you're
it.
older and wiser.
It doesn't make sense to me because somebody will be vest and they would use the law in their hand. Guess what they do? They will go press charges. And now you're looking at self facing something like consequence for something that man that you don't even give
You
a
know, see,
crap
like how
about.
many charges like been putting press for the man because they're not pressing because they're gonna take the man back. That's what we see.
Nah, you know what? They need to talk to me because I would tell and say if you really want to make somebody vest, you cannot physically make them vest by you hurting them. You gotta hurt them in different ways. That's the smartest
So
way to
are
go
you
about
telling
it.
the ladies on the app yet tonight when they go for a man being the one that lost, she press charges that the other get?
Hey, that's not what I'm telling you. Oh. Don't fight in general. No matter how good you
But
think it
if
is.
you do, you should press charges. Got it. Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying there are better ways to hurt somebody's feelings than trying to physically hurt them because no matter how you won that fight, you left scratch on her face, the scratch will go away. But if somebody got to pay you something or they got to do small time or something like that, I think would make them more vest than that temporary thing you caused to them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling nobody to go press charges or because the street said don't be a snitch, don't be this, don't be that. I'm just telling you, if you really want to have somebody feeling relation, this is the best way to have a feeling relation.
Okay, feel relation. Jerry, what's your take on these women fighting for the man business?
As you said, that's the stupidest thing. Maybe my mind is built different because I would never fight for anybody
Thank
ever.
you.
That's just dumb. I don't get it. It's
You
just
can't go
ridiculous.
find a new man. Like, come on, man. You fine.
Not go find new man. Go
Like, literally, like you could do anything but fight. Like you got so many different options. Like, come on. What you want to show you got hands? Come on.
Maybe Chad said a lot of people, uncle. What do you know?
If that person like rich person, I understand where you want to keep the person. But chances are that person, nah, man, it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. But go crazy.
Mm-mm.
So each his own. I mean, some people think like when we were growing up, people fight like the little boyfriend, girlfriends, and then a boyfriend is not leaving the girlfriend. So it's just like okay. And then when we got older, it's even like grown women that have children, not kids, children that will be like going back and forth, fighting and tussling. Is like whoa. When we're teenagers, it made sense because you're teens, but as an adult that have you have a stable job, stable housing, and everything for your children. Why would you put yourself in that situation to even like get physical to that degree and you somebody's mama?
Yeah.
Every time I see adults fighting, whether it's physical or just like verbal, I'll just be like, what are you teaching your young children? Because
It's
they're
not just that though. Like grown up fightings is crazy to me because so many different things could go wrong, especially people with kids fighting. Like, come on, imagine me. I'm at the gym and I'm fighting a dude over a girl, and now I gotta deal with like a bunch of unnecessary stuff, which will affect me seeing my kid. Like, just so many things that I feel like
And
reasons on why I would not fight. Like,
it's the go
it's just
fight.
stupid.
It's the very person that's fighting. They're not going right back.
That's the part that boils my temper. So you sat here, you got on live, you
Go right
cussed
back
on your phone,
anyway. Why are you
right?
fighting? Like,
You
come on.
scream all day only to get right back and go back to that person.
Just go right back there. And he's gonna come right back to you too. He's still gonna be going back and forth between you. But
So who's the
Look,
real winner here?
let me
Who's the
tell you
real
some
winner?
funny stuff. Let me tell you some
then
funny stuff.
we get together, both of
They
y'all,
like
and
funny
face
though.
your faces.
There was a guy way back on Facebook, you know, the drama thing, and there's two girls go fight for the man over the man. The man stood there. The one that got beat, they got chow. The new girlfriend beat the one with the beat. Then he went with the new girlfriend on Facebook. Like that's some shit.
Mm.
Like, can you imagine the new girlfriend beat the ex that have a child for the man? Then the man tell the new
Like
girlfriend.
that. He's still fighting the girlfriend.
Ooh, child. I just like, yeah. I don't really understand like fighting for people on social media. People like, oh, like they disrespect me. No, your man disrespected you. Fight the man. If you want to be Charles to the Fuerte and you want to be King Kong daughter or WWE warrior, fight the man that literally put you in that situation. But a lot of the women they misplaced the aggression and put it towards the other woman and say, "Oh, because she did this, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that." I'm not saying don't check the lady of the whole situation, but at the end of the day, that your husband or your man, I get here, about looking at Mawa shining on your sister, you won't be shining on the flower. He was the one that probably stepped to that girl and said, "Oh, I think you really found." And I found hole, went to thank you hole, then went to the other hole, then went to the other hole, then we enter to the hole now. So at the end of the day, I feel like you just go if you fighting somebody, which I like everybody saying I agree is very childish. I think it's tacky as hell. I think as a woman it's very distasteful and it's ghetto. That's a ratchet behavior. Like you can respectfully tell some no, it is. You should be able to tell somebody how you
The
feel.
way you're breaking it down, Seth, was crazy. You said 5 different things.
It's distasteful,
Ghetto, tacky.
it's ratchet, that's tacky. That's 4.
At what age do you stop fighting for men business?
I think in general, you should just know how to compose yourself. Like if you have anger problem, go seek anger management. Right? Okay, maybe when you're 15, cool, 16. But I feel like once you turn like that 18 or 20 years old, where you know, okay, now I'm trying to put my life in this kind of situation, on this kind of path, there shouldn't be a reason why somebody should disrespect you and you take it upon yourself to go get physical. Because like you said, Gus, that person can't press charges against you. You can't have a misdemeanor against you. And then if you're trying to go into a career field, it's going to come up for you. So a lot of the time people make decisions so abruptly because they're trying to prove a point. You know, it's like go about your day and just forget it out. But there got to be a healthier way to communicate. You can tell a person how you feel. You don't have to get physical with them. And if you are not a physical person trying to get physical with you, you have very regular touches. And when I press search for you, baby, I'm coming for everything that you stand for. Even your kids, I'm gonna come for that too.
That's what I'm telling you. That's the most important part here.
Eat, wake up, so I'll carry you to the jail.
At this big age of mine, I ain't fighting nobody. I ain't fighting nobody. Hey, you got her, bruh. You could have her. Go for it. Congratulations. You're the
So
real
me,
winner.
I want a woman been before the photo.
No. Some things that actually have really got me out of character is when I'm playing basketball. Like when I'm playing basketball, I get really hot headed. Like men, when it comes to sports, we're very competitive. So those are other things that can
You're
lead to.
you're not even toying the game, but there you go.
So, but at the end of the day, you just have to check yourself. You got to
Shot
think
me
for
got
yourself.
ego problem. Because they shot then the ego not long.
Matter of fact, let me tell you something. One time, something happened to me. I was at Sam's Club. I was in the line waiting to go get my gas. That man came out of nowhere, Jack, cut me off and go get gas. And I looked at Buddy here, and I'm just like,
Let me get you wanted to get angry.
Yeah. Oh, I want to be vest. You know how long you be within Sam's Club line? You been to Sam's Club before, right? To get gas?
And you're waiting for the line to
Especially
get.
the one in Bloomington when I used to live in Edina. You have to wait in that line. There's two lines. And then as the car go, the other car go, the car go, the other car go. So I waiting to go get my gas. The manager come out of nowhere, cut me off for my time for me to go get my gas. So I just look at him and why, of course. So I just look at him and shook my head. I said, I know what I mean, guy in that car said. You have a gun, you can lose your
Oh
life
yeah,
on
you gotta
stupid
be
things.
careful too, because these people be playing. They be playing. They don't be
Trust me,
playing.
I'm not fighting nobody.
Don't be playing. But no, in all honesty, we're too grown to fight. We have a lot to lose, especially when you become somebody's parent. A lot of your part of your life is really not about you anymore. I'm not saying it's always about you, but you know what I mean. Like your priority shifts a little bit. So, a person would disrespect you, there's a way you go about it. And if a person disrespect your child, there's another way you can go about that too. I don't think everything results in being physical. Like you don't have to slap somebody, punch somebody to prove a point. Because you can do that and you will pay the price for that. And you should pay the price because you'll be animal.
I'm telling you, smart people know what to do. Just don't hit them back. Just deal with them later. That's it.
Yeah. I think just finding a healthy way to conflict resolute. I think that's
Literally.
another thing in our if we can now we're on that conversation. I think a couple of days ago there was a video trending of a lady like physically assaulting her partner, like a Liberian lady, and I think I made a post about it. It's like one of these celebrity couples that come here, bring a person from Africa, yeah. It was trending and the lady was like really beating her person. Like she was beating this man and it was trending on Facebook and it really annoyed me because people were in the comments like enabling her actions, right? And I think a lot of Liberians are enablers of people doing people wrong. And I made a comment post and I said women are abusive to men. Let's keep it a buck, on this app.
Wait, what
Women
would they say?
are uh-huh.
They were saying be him.
No, they were just enabling it like, oh, it takes two. I'm sure something provoked her. Like that's enabling behavior. This person have a mop and beating this man. This person is throwing like knives and other little things. This person is ducking. They have a broom that you can see the physical altercation transpiring. And you're saying like, what did he do to cause her to react? Like that's that just didn't sit right with me. And it just made me realize like women are abuser. A lot of the time we narrow abuse to just physical, but the words that you choose is abuse by itself. And I think a lot of us Liberian and women too have not been taught that your words is a form of abuse, depending on how you use it toward that person. And it just kind of just take me off. All of those things stimulate too again into the fighting and stuff like that. If you don't know how to properly manage your anger and you get physical with someone, they should press charges on you. Like seriously. Like I don't care if you have kids or not, because you didn't take that into consideration when you decided to be WWE warrior on this person. So, just finding healthier way to conflict resolute. I think our people, we struggle with that. We don't know how to conflict resolute. We always resort back to getting physical. And I know in like, bro, everybody gotta be fighting for the eating more, eating spot, eating pan. But it's just like as people, we gotta come to a space like, okay, how can we effectively talk to Jerry for something she did or talk to Gus about something. We're all trying to square up. I ain't got the muscles for it anyways. But we're all trying to throw hands and stuff like that. So yeah.
So, record like the other lady and put it on social media, or was somebody recording her?
No, it was. I think it was one of these celebrity Liberian people that are always trending. I think the lady name I can say her name. No, I don't know her, but her name was Zoe. There was like a whole story where she brought her husband. There was a lot of things going on in the marriage, and then I guess they always come on live addressing their business. So nobody's in their business, but social media give us their business. And I was just scrolling. I seen people like sharing a video back to back to back, and this lady was like beating this man, and he was recording, and he was ducking and going like that, recording because I guess behind closed doors she said he's abusive. He said she's abusive, so he released his video, and it was very bad. Like she was throwing things, beating him with a broom and mop stick, and just whacking him. And it was just it was just it was just gross. I mean, Sata when she was slapping the man, this one she was beating him with like stick. Ma,
Imagine if he didn't record that stuff. Would people even believe him that it happened?
somebody said that to a lady said that, and I was like, absolutely,
Seriously.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here because, as you said, a lot of us, especially I've noticed, a lot of African women, I was saying, not just not Liberian women, that struggle with that stuff. They struggle with controlling our emotions, and people are responsible how they want to respond, but you are responsible for how you react to
yeah,
that. That's on you.
yeah,
And I know that's what we're saying in the comment. People be like, okay, what did you do to make her to reach to that point? Okay, you reach to that point. It's your responsibility to decide how you react in that
yep,
moment.
yep.
There's no excuse for that.
Oh no, people in the and that's the enabling part I'm talking about, right? It's like, okay, like you said, people have the right to choose how they're gonna react. You can't determine what a person's reaction to your words, your actions gonna do. You know, there's so many times you can tell a person they ain't shit, they ain't shit, they ain't shit before they really like really go off on you. I'm just being honest here. You know, there's so many times you can tell, talk to a kid really bad before one day they literally give you that same taste of your own medicine back. So it comes to that point, but I think we miss that part a lot. But I think a lot of our people, I would say, and again, may not just be just Africans or Liberians, but they don't know how to conflict resolute, and that is a problem because lack of that will produce anger, and that anger will produce this physical part, and that will cost you in the end. That's a lot of them are facing some type of restraining order, misdemeanor, or like, some type of assault charges because they feel like they want to display this. Like, I can put my hands on you and get away with it, or I can tell you the nasty words. And then when you slap me, I would say, a woman shouldn't be supposed to beat woman. What did you check the words out your mouth? So women's mouth is deadly. Telling you. Woo!
And people just don't know to walk away from toxic situation. They just trying too hard to make it work when it's not working, and that's when all of these things start to happen because it's like all of it is toxic at this point. But you just take a break. A lot of
No,
these,
people can take a break. Or they say, me and the man, we suffer together. We've been together for 10 years. So I must be here. But you're both miserable. I'm telling you,
That thing
people
that made
are
me
holding up.
best when people be using the length
Yeah,
of time they've been with someone just to stick around. It's like it
to
doesn't
be
have to be 20
miserable.
years if you would have been left 10 years ago.
yeah.
And the thing that makes me mad in that whole situation of those years they're explaining, probably out of that 10 years, only maybe 1 or 2 years they really been like together, like happy,
Yeah.
kind, and cool to each other. All the other years just been bitches and hoes. Your mom this, your pa this. Like, why would you ever be with somebody that degrade your parent? Like, I don't know how some men and women got hard because for me, my dad that I bury under this ground, I dare somebody sing song to kind of talk about my late father in an argument. I will leave you very quick. I'm just being honest with you. But some women will be like, oh, and then they'll do the same thing to the man too. It's just like, how do you be with somebody that is like that? But yeah, you're saying, oh, we've been together for 10 years. I have to be there. But you're both miserable. You're both not healthy for each other. You scream every day. You call each other name every day. Why are we so trying?
Hey, that's facts, man. I know a lot of people that are in relationships that they shouldn't be in, and they're bragging about the length of time of it. That's
Ooh, child.
crazy to me.
The ghetto.
Somebody's talking about it staying because the food good. Somebody said it's staying because the sex good. Like, come on, man.
Le
Regardless of
fou. So you don't know the course ici? Am I sure?
eh, like how to cook. If the chamo can cook good, I get it. But I'm sure you can go to Kobo shop. There's so many other alternatives to fix things that is making you stay in a relationship. I understand you may say I love the person. Do you love the person or do you love the toxicity?
Last week we asked this question: is love enough to
People
sustain?
they enjoy the talk sort of back and forth. People live for it. That's what
It
they
gives
enjoy.
it gives them some level of adrenaline in their body. I believe it too.
They
That's a
enjoy
high that I
Ooh,
do
today we
not
break up,
want to
tomorrow we're back
experience.
together.
That's crazy.
It
That's
is.
crazy.
It really is. We live in a generation where
some
it's
normal lies in our Liberian community where it's like okay, because I'm assuming this couple has been on that Facebook so multiple times at this point,
mhm.
and they keep going back and forth and keep bringing their drama to Facebook, and they're not fixing the problems, and they still keep coming back to Facebook, and Right, use casting as a way to become celebrities, they claim. Become famous.
God, for real, it's a lot. I mean, when I saw that video, it was so disheartening to see because a lot of women. I mean, I'm understanding that a lot. Some Liberian women are telling her in the comments that like, "Girl, you need to take accountability. Like, you need to start playing victim. Start victim. Start victimizing yourself. You're not a victim. We saw the video, so there was a part of them that was being very realistic, and and owning it like, yeah, you actually are toxic. Yeah, you actually have a really bad mouth as a woman. And then there were some that was enabling it like, well, maybe he did something to her. A woman can just get up and do this.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
She could have like
She could have. No, that woman thinks she's walking away in that video. She was not walking nowhere. She was like beating this man. It was so
She
sad.
wanted all the smoke. I ain't even seen the video, but I've seen some people share it. I didn't even bother to even look at it. But
Yeah, I wasn't bothering for a minute, and then something just said click it. I clicked it for like not even good 30 seconds, and I'm like, this is disgusting. I mean, we're all on this app here too. When Sata literally, that Sata girl, literally went and smacked this man across his face and degraded him simply because she thought he poisoned her, only for her to eat the same food that she proclaimed was poison. But and what did Liberian people do? They enable her actions, made her famous. I don't even know what it is she's famous about, and today now everything's like going haywire, and then she now we've yeah.
so hold on. Do you think this kind of behavior is more, but it's just not talked about because a lot of guys are not coming out
It is.
sharing
If we
these?
really be honest here tonight, I think most guys are abused. It may not be physical per se, but I think the verbal abuse is a lot because there are some women. I'm telling you, their mouth, ooh, child. It is
So
it's
if you witness something like that, would you tell a girl, especially somebody that you know that's close to you? Would you check her? Would you like what would you
Listen,
how would
I
you
knew
react?
a guy friend of mine, and he was dating this girl, and this girl was reckless with her mouth, and I told him to leave the girl, and I kept it a buck with her. I was like, I'm sorry, but this man can be with you. You rude. I'm being honest with you. I'm not saying like as a woman, I'm not saying like we don't get frustrated and say things, but I think there's got to be some level that you like. Jerry was saying you got to know how to like calm down a little. Like you just got to know how to draw your line because there's certain words when you say to people, Gus, you can apologize, but those words, it don't leave your mind ever. We're humans.
Sticks and
You
stones, right?
Yeah, people can say I'm sorry 12 different times, but they're saying there will be one word that will say that word will resonate for a while with you. And then even if you try to like
Yeah.
forgive them, move forward, then it would just stick. So you gotta be careful. So if you're angry and every time you're telling this man being this, he will never be that, and he probably like already beating himself up internally, trying to figure out like what to do with his life as a person and as a woman, your words are just cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. Come on
I will
now.
tell you, you are right about words though, because I remember like right after college, because I had my kid when I was 20, man. Like I at the time arguing in a toxic relationship, hearing you're a bum and this and that, like words can stick with people forever. Like you're a deadbeat, like crazy stuff like that. That stuff, even though a guy may not express it, man, that man is looking in the mirror and just having these internal battles. And that's tough because if a man is not stable mentally, scary person. It's crazy. But yeah, that's wild. I'm never going back to that phase again. I think people just need to learn to know when to leave. Like when to
That's
leave
it.
a lot of situation. And it's on both ends. If you can look in the mirror and see, am I causing this person to feel some type of way? Or is this person causing me to feel some type of way? Like people really need to start like June is almost over. June is like mental health awareness month, and I don't even know if a lot of my brothers took this month seriously, but I've been having the most amazing month of June ever. Like I think people need to understand their mental is very important. Leave whatever situation you were in, just look at it, see if it's working for you, leave. I know it's easier said than done, but you really have to try.
Harry, what is your take on women with the sharp mouth?
What would you show? Well, you can have it, but just be respectful. to the
Yeah.
next person. Like I just there's certain things you say that you cannot take back. But some of men they're like super passive aggressive, and we women tend to be more expressive. So it's easy to see the woman than to see the man,
Yep.
and then know how to press your buttons. And if you're not careful, they are put into that place where you have no business going.
And so men love to take you there. So you're not wrong. So you just gotta know, especially I think too when you're with a person and maybe a couple of times they take you to a certain level and you know like, hey, this person know how to get me to this level and I can produce this outcome. That's what you should pick up as a woman. It's like, you know what? I know what you're about to trying to do and I'm not with that. Just and like
And a
that's
lot of
you know,
women are smart enough to pick up on those things and they will just stay and that person just push and push and push and push and it just keep going until they explore and now you have no control.
yep.
And in that moment,
That's toxic. If you know how to push a person
if
button and
there's
you
one
push
You'll be
it,
woman,
surprised. You'll
that's
be
when
really
it's people
surprised.
pick up the phone to record you.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's where a lot of these other females are coming from. Like, what did you do to push her to that point?
Not to record you. Like I see
Yeah,
you.
they do that. So when you have to understand if you know that person triggers certain things in you and make you to get to a place where you know you do not want to be, and you know that a person is like, okay, I see where you're going. You're starting to trigger me right now, and I don't want you to make me to be to where I don't want to go
Right.
away. You don't have to win every argument. And some people just want to win every argument.
Every argument, Jerry, they want to be carrying the trophy on their chest. Like, yo,
if
one
you claim you care about somebody and you really get them to that trigger point, that's not love. I'm sorry.
You in the moment of argument, it's not nobody really care about who love each other at that point.
nope.
People just want to just say shit to hurt the next person.
The next person to win the battle is
That's
always about
crazy though.
who is
Because you
taking
have to fix that damage. You gotta do damage control later. Saying
a
I'm
lot of
Yeah,
sorry,
people
I
don't
didn't
think
mean
about
that
the
is
damage control that they got to do later, Gus, and that's the crazy part. I mean, a lot of like we on this app here tonight will be realistic and we will use our logical sense and reasonings and all of those parts in certain things. But some people don't tap into that skill, and that's the crazy part. They don't tap into. We should, but we
at
don't.
some point you just have to grow up. Like I understand you can give yourself these excuses like, oh, I was younger, that's a younger version of me. But look at our peers. Like a majority of us, like we're in our 30s. Like what are our excuses now?
exactly. Exactly.
There's no excuse actually. I just think people, yeah, there's no excuse, but it's really an unfortunate thing. I think the lack of again we're back to that cultural lens. Sorry guys, we have like 8 minutes tonight. Having something at church. I'm gonna go sleep. So I'm gonna be there later. But I think the lack of I think culture plays a role in this part again. You know, in the way that some people react to things, some people respond, the way they talk. I think culture is so big. Even though we think about it just with the food and everything, but there's more to culture than that we don't take into consideration as well.
I don't know if we got enough time, but I was gonna ask you about the whole DDG and Haley Bailey situation, and just how it's transpiring. Like,
I mean, what about the situation? I don't know too much on it. So for me on social media, I'm on it, but I minimize a lot of those things that I read. For my own mental health, I just scroll and see one or two things. I know people will share things with me and stuff like that, but I don't tap too heavily into it. So what is it about them that you would like to share? Maybe we can like pick it
I
up.
mean, at the end of the day, the biggest gist I got from it is they were together, and
Your kid. Gus have his kids behind the juries. So,
yeah, they were together, and at some point, I think it's in 2024 they were together, but then they broke up because Haley came out and said that um, DDG has been verbally abusive to her, physically abusive. I think the shade room even shared like some of the photos that she showed
mhm,
because I think she put a restraining order against him,
mhm.
and it just had social media split at some point. Like, was Haley being a crazy baby mama, or baby mama drama situation coming up, or some people were saying that she was doing it out of jealousy because she had court the same day apparently when he got into a relationship with India. So it just got me thinking to myself, like, what causes a crazy baby mama? Like things like that.
Not what causes a crazy baby mama. Is
Not
that
just that. That could be crazy baby daddies too. But like, what are some characteristics that causes people to be labeled as such? Is what I'm thinking.
Jerry? What do you think about this one? I don't know. We only have like a few more minutes, yo. We have 5 minutes, but what do you think? Is
I'm
there?
crazy.
Yeah.
I
Is
don't know
there? Is
why
there a
it
requirement?
it stems from them staying bitter and not moving on from that person or not fully healing from that relationship. As it's always like transfer aggression to the next women. That's what
Right.
it is. It's okay. You can be mad at the dude, but you choose to be mad at the next woman or the woman before you. And
Right.
now you know all this anger on the next person. Some of them go calling them and cutting people out, trying to fight them. Just doing the most. And a lot of these things from them not healing themselves, just being so bitter about that relationship with that person. And that's also we are all adults now. Like I'm assuming we're all in our 30s. It's our responsibility to heal, to go
Right.
through therapy and to work on some of these traumas that we have because relationship also cause trauma. If you don't heal and you don't work on yourself, you're gonna take it on the next person who have no business
Right.
that receiving all that anger in the first place. So
Absolutely.
some females just be doing the most, especially the baby mamas who just be on Facebook. Like, why are you calling another female cussing her up? Because like I don't get it. I don't.
Right. No, that is so true. Is that bitter because you don't want to let go? Again, back to the time we talked about people holding on to those years again that they spent with that person. It's like they're holding that on, and then when the person do move on, they're dragging them, and it's like through the mud, through the storm, through the ocean. But you gotta be able to heal and let it go.
Because if you claim you fully move on from this person, like you wouldn't even have problem meeting that next lady and shaking her hand and saying, "Hey, nice to meet you." Like,
Right. I mean, you shouldn't, especially if that person's gonna be around your kid. It would be nice to have like that relationship or that cordialance. You don't have to be friends, but like at least being cordial and respecting that person. But a lot of people don't heal, so they are very spiteful. They're very something. I remember when I was younger, I always would say like, I don't want to be nobody's stepmom because these girls can be too much.
it'd
You
be
know,
too much. Just be
I
doing the
remember,
most.
yeah, really back. I did
Once
a
that
way
dating another person, they don't want the child to see that man
They
anymore
don't,
because
yeah. They do too much. Listen, they will torment the kid. I knew a guy way back in I was 21, and the dude I was talking to had like one kid, and the girl found my social media. Every day that girl sent me a message. Like it would just say you have a message request, and then she would just be talking, and I never responded to her. Oh, my kid will never call you mom. Mind you, I'm 21 years old. Like I'm legally to drink. Like come on now. I don't know about being somebody's mom. I'm only 21, X, Y, Z. But this girl will she took it up on her surgery every time to send me a message. She didn't stop. Like, how did you even find my name in my
So
face?
you didn't even reply one time.
I never did.
So she's just over there having a conversation with herself.
She was just sending it. It would say you have a message request.
How does it not show that you're crazy? Like that's crazy
I just
behavior.
never acknowledge her. I just let her, kid dad know at the time, like this person. I'm like, why is this? I don't even know how she found my social media. That was the crazy part.
they'll find
No,
and
she did.
they'll know your life more than you already know them.
Yes, she was like, "Oh, my son is not coming to his dad because of you." I'm like, "That's on you." Like that's in my mind. I'm like, "That is you. That had nothing to do with me." I'm barely to the house, and it was just like a thing. And she, some mothers are like really bitter, and it's really hard and it's really sad. It takes a toll on the kid. But we can talk about that next week because I really want to touch base on that, like the effect of that piece and how that affects our children. And I think a lot of the time people don't think it affects our children and development. They think, oh, I'm dealing with a child. I'm not dealing with a child. No, it affects them. And I will talk about it from the lens of a social work, but not more like, just like again, free flow though. But I really want to talk about that now that you brought it up.
Facts, facts. I know you gotta go though, so I didn't.
I
I'm
do.
sorry I
So I
brought it
just
up
want to tell
late.
everybody on this app tonight, thank you all for watching. This has been Social Segment with Win. We had our guest in the building tonight, Mr. Gus. He came, he brought the heat. It was a really good conversation. My girl Jerry is here. The conversation was nice. I love it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna let the panelists say their goodbyes, and then we will just end the stream for tonight, y'all.
Yo, it was a pleasure being on for sure. I could talk for days, so I appreciate you getting my insight on quite a few social topics. So I appreciate it. Definitely look forward to another appearance in the future.
Sounds good. Jerry, what's your goodbye message?
Thanks for having me, Owen. And yo, please stop me for y'all stop fighting for these stupid men. I beg you, please.
I agree. Y'all have a good night, y'all. Bye.
Bye.